Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sean with BlueRidgeSilhound. Hopefully, you guys are doing well and that you're enjoying the world of collecting coins and paper money. So, in this video, we're going to take a look actually at star notes, but not just any star notes. As you guys know, star notes exist because they were a replacement to just really shoddy quality during the printing process of the BEP. So, when something happened, and a note was printed in error of some sort. It was over inked, it was under inked, maybe the paper was the sheet was folded before it was printed. Anything that you can imagine that would make a dollar bill or a $2 bill, 5, 10, 20, 50, or 100, if they look anything else than what a regular, normal looking bill would look like, they will yank it out of the production run and replace it with a star note. So star notes are the replacements. They're denoted as having a star either at the end of the serial number or at the very beginning if we're talking about a little bit older notes like silver certificates that would apply there. However, there are some chances that you could come across a star note with an actual error on it. That's right. It's actually kind of like the ultimate twist of irony. Like these things should not happen. And it's because of this, guys, that these particular notes, whether they're ungraded or not, can be worth a lot of money if you're able to find them. So we're going to examine about a dozen notes that have sold either on eBay or heritage auctions, all with some sort of legitimate error on the star note. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off with this one right here. Now, the eBay sales I have for you are all listings that sold within the last 90 days. These are confirmed sales within the last 3 months. I want to make that perfectly clear so that way we're not digging up information that's 15 years old. Now, the heritage auction listings, some of those are a little bit older, not too old though. I'm trying to look for things that are probably within the last year or so. So we'll explore those here momentarily. But we have a pair of 2009 $1 bills. All right, these are relatively newer printings, all right, which means you can find these on much newer printings going all the way up to 2017A. What we have here are a pair of dollar bills that have been graded by a company called PMG. All right, they are actually a subsidiary to NGC, or Collector Society, I guess is the name of that umbrella company. But we have two notes graded here by one of the bigger dealers, or one of the bigger grading companies rather. And you'll notice that it says solid star. All right. So as you guys take a look at these notes, and it's kind of hard to say, but they do say solid star error on the holders. And usually with errors, you do want that to be listed on there. And you might have to pay a little bit extra to get the error attribution on there, but it's going to be worth it. It's to help you sell these notes a little bit better. And we're going to talk somewhere probably toward the end of the video, is it worthwhile grading these? Okay, and this is actually pretty interesting because you could go either way. So this is what these look like. So the star is completely filled in. The normal design of a star on any of the pieces of currency you see today, it will have an actual blank middle dot area. So they are supposed to have a dot or an unprinted area. Now, there's the offhanded chance that there could be a little bit of over inking. And this is held especially true when the ink wells are filled back up with the appropriate color ink for that part of the plate. So in this particular case, things like the serial number, the star, and even this green district seal all share the same inkwell. But you can also look here on the Treasury seal and see some over-inking on this here, right under this 1789 date. So it's a rather common occurrence, and you could see these anywhere where there's a really tight cavity within the design that's easy to fill up. You know, like this little this line right here that goes all the way around the perimeter of the seal, including that little dot in the right smack dab in the middle of the star. All right, so you're getting a pair of two notes here. All right, and they're both grading very high. This pairing ended up selling for $385. These can be found on 1s, 2s, and 5s as far as the taping of this video. We actually had someone on the live coin Q&A live stream here a few days ago that actually found a full bank strap of 2017 $2 bills, all exhibiting the same overing star. That's going to be an incredibly valuable pack of 100 notes once it becomes available on the market. I would say it's probably going to be somewhere in that $5,000 to $7,500 range for notes that you could just easily pick up from the bank. And that's pretty crazy there. The next one that we have here is actually a silver certificate. Now, in this particular case, it's a 1957. This particular note showcases quite amount of circulation wear. However, as you can see, there's this kind of long, skinny anomaly here that goes through the middle of the note. That is what they call a gutter fold. All right, a gutter fold is where the subject sheet, before any printing had occurred, actually has a wrinkle in it. So as long as the wrinkle isn't stretched out or the sheet is destroyed because those wrinkles are on there, it's going the printing presses are going to print right over the wrinkle. So after all the printing is done, the ink is dry, you can actually take the note after its cut job and actually stretch it out, and this is where you have that gutter. Normally, these notes are generally pulled out of the run and replaced with a star note. But as you can see, we have a star note here with a gutter, which is absolutely insane. It's like, you know, hey, we're that neglectful that we're going to put in a star note with an error on it that shouldn't even have released. So this one right here, a best offer was accepted, and we're actually going to take a little time to research how much this sold for. We're going to go on to my favorite website, 130point.com. Go under search eBay sales. And then you're just simply going to scroll down till you see this blank field. It says Tom Brady right there. I guess we all know who he is. Not that he's one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever live, but anyways, so here's going to be your result. This one sold for $105, which is a pretty nice amount of money for a note that had seen better days. All right, that note had certainly made its way around commerce. People spent it, and even a note in that state of preservation still holds quite a bit of value. The next one that we have here is actually one of my favorites. I like these, and whenever one comes up for sale, I've always thought about maybe buying one for myself. All right, so we have a 1981 $10 Fed Reserve note. Now, this is a little bit older printing here. So it's got the smaller head design, still a star note, but you're going to see here on the left-hand side some of that green impression ink from the reverse. They call this a back-to-front wet ink transfer or an offset error. The impression cylinder at one point made contact with the printing plates without an actual sheet in there. And because of that, you have a transfer image of the whatever printing plates they use, which looks like the reverse printing on any note, especially on a 10, transferred onto the impression cylinder. It's kind of similar to what a die clash is in coinage terminology, but of course this is something that should have been pulled out of the batch because it truly is an error, and you can see it's a star note. The note has circulation wear. It's not the most pristine looking piece, and this one sold for $171.50 with 26 total bids there, and now it's on April 10th. The next one that we have here, yet again, another crazy looking error. This is actually on a 1974 $1 bill. This one is actually graded by PCGS banknote. And on the banknote label here, it says overprint misalignment error. So you're going to see that overprint, which is commonly referred to as the third print of the process. The sheet was somehow out of place, misaligned, and therefore that overprint is shifted all the way to the right. This is indeed a star note. If you look closely here under the one, you can see the star. This one grades at about uncirculated 50. I mean, it looks much better than that, but you can see a corner fold right here. And this one right here sold for $275 just recently, a few days ago, with 22 bids. So again, another high-priced piece of treasure of a star note. And you could find these even on much newer printings. Some have been discovered. Here's another one of those wedding transfers, this time on a $10 bill. I believe the other one was a 10 as well. 1963A. This one is a Choice EF 45 EPQ by PMG. So we're going to actually copy and paste this one here as well. So we'll just go back to 130 point and go ahead and copy and paste the information there. And we'll find that this one had sold for $320, which is a pretty nice sum of money. Upon closer examination, the partial wet ink transfer back to front is there on the left. Again, nothing too crazy. It's not like it envelopes an entire front of the note, but you do have some of that partial transfer there. All right, so again, another great looking note on a star. And here's our other star note here. This is actually a big one. It is a star note mismatched serial number on a silver certificate. It's a 1957B. This one sold for $865. And not the best looking note right here. It graded out PMG very fine 25 net. Okay, the net means it was net graded because of some issue, some sort of condition thing on there. I see there's a lot of like foxing and various stains on here. I have a feeling that's what it is. But if you look closely at the serial number, you're going to see that the final digit of the serial number is different. You have 8 up here and you have 9 down here. So pretty nice. This is something you don't traditionally see, especially on star notes. There's only a handful of these that have ever made it to the open market, and because of that, prices remain really high on these. But at the same time, it's a very undersearched aspect of numismatics, and especially paper currency. Not too many people really pay attention to these 1935 and 1957 series of star notes or silver certificates in general. Because people are just kind of like very down and ho-hum about it, about those notes, especially if they're very well worn. But you see staining right there. So it's a note with problems, but still managed to sell for a nice sum of cash. And this was sold by Stax Bowers, who is one of the big currency dealers out there today. And then the final one on eBay, we have actually another cool one here, 1974. I believe this is a $1 bill. It's got a turned digit error. So you can see that second to last digit in the serial number was partially turned on that wheel. So it wasn't completely centered in place during the print of that overprint. And as a result, you only get a partial. So it looks like it could be a 6, it could be an 8. There's a few different numbers that this could be, but you can see it's also a star note. This one is also graded by PCGS Currency, which was the old regime of the PCGS grading for currency. Turn digit in UR serial number, and that's upper right. So only the upper right serial number was affected. Another big sale, best offer was accepted, and let's go ahead and check this one out before we take a look at some of the heritage auction sales, which will absolutely blow your mind because those are fantastic looking and very nice. It's going to make you want to search through paper money. So $300, $299 if you want to be exact, was the sell price on this particular note. And again, all the eBay listings you saw today are from the last 90 days. So they're very recent. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at a few select heritage auction sales. These are some of the bigger ones from the last few months. Okay, so we're not dipping too far back. We're not going back to like 2005 or anything like that, although you could, and find some pretty weird and amazing, paper money errors. So we have a 1996 Star Note $100 bill. You can see missing print error, and of course that missing print, you probably already saw it, is on the reverse, so it's missing the entire back print, which the overall processes of printing a piece of currency is that it prints the back first, then the front main image, which they call the second print, and then the overprint, which is the serial numbers and district seals. So this one right here, the entire reverse print is gone. It's not even printed. This one sold on May 5th of this year for $2,640. So another big one there. one of the bigger sales of Star Note errors. I love this one as well. This is and this is one I talked about here recently. It's a 1935 G silver certificate $1 bill. You can see it says inverted star error. This one ended up selling for $456 May 30th. So again, just a short while ago, a few weeks. But you can see the bottom left star is inverted. The top middle point of the star is actually pointing downwards. So the star was inverted on that printing plate. And again, this is one that not a lot of people know about. Not too many people actually go out of their way to look through silver certificates to find things like this. But this is such a huge error nonetheless, and it's one that the people that do know about it are buying them out. And they generally command somewhere in that $300 to $700 range. The higher end of the spectrum are going to be much nicer condition notes, which do come up on occasion, maybe once, twice a year. This one's a very fine 30 EPQ, which is suitable. But yeah, not too bad. $456 in May. We have a few more notes. We have another misaligned overprint on a star note, this time on a 1974 $20 bill. I'm not going to click on too close here, but it's a gem uncirculated 66. It was probably pulled out of a BEP strap. On the holder, it says overprint misalignment, and this one sold in May for $1,320. So another big sale there. Here's something that's a little bit newer that maybe you guys can pursue. And you never know where you're going to find these. It's a 2009A $100 bill, right? It's a colorized hundo. This is one that we're all too familiar with. We've seen these before. But we have a cutting error. As you can tell, the cut is way high on these. It's got a big fat bottom margin, as you can see here. Superb Gem 68. Looks like it came out of a BEP strap. That's a heck of a find. And this one sold for $600. So nice star note there of a cutting error. Let's see, second to last note here. We finally got one of those $2 bills, and this was actually the very note, I believe, from the very same block, the L star block, that our submitter had sent us her pictures of a star note strap that has a BEP strap on it, so it came right directly from the BEP. This is the same block right here. This one grades PMG Choice AU 58 EPQ, although the submitter has crisp uncirculated gems. So this one sold for $180. And when you look at this a little bit closer, the top right star is over inked or filled. All right, and you can see some over inking in the district seal as well. So yeah, that's a pretty nice error there on a very new note, by the way. So make sure you're looking out for these. They are currently out there. I know $2 bills are hit and miss. It's either you're going to find them or you're not. All right, and it's just a matter of asking around. But you do have to ask for these notes in order to participate in the hunt. It's like playing the lottery. You want to win, you have to buy a ticket. Because if you don't do that, you're not going to have any chance whatsoever to win the big jackpot. And then the final note that we're going to talk about today in this video is going to be this 1988A $1 bill. Right off the rip, it sold for nearly $2,300 back on June 6th. So it's a relatively recent sale. This one has a mismatched serial number. So the bottom left serial number is 1140. 9914. The top right serial number is 00409914. So you have double zeros to start off the serial number here. You have double one here. So we got two numbers that are mismatched on this one, which makes it extra more special. Usually with mismatches, you only see one number mismatched. But when you have more than that, it takes the collectability level to a whole new world. And it's a very nice high-graded specimen at that. It's a Gem Unk 66. And again, $2,300. So we have some pretty big sales on star note errors. And again, folks, these are things that you can look out for out there in circulation. there's actually a number of them that have been discovered just within the last 24 months. And there's been other types of errors that aren't stars at all. There's been some mismatched serial numbers on the brand new notes. So make sure you're looking out for that as well. That's kind of a new thing. But that's what I want to talk about in this video. All right. Star note errors are a huge deal, and there is a pretty wide collector base for these that are willing to throw money at you. You just got to catch it as long as you're ready to sell these. So I appreciate your guys' time. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound, and you guys keep on collecting. Hopefully I'll see you on the next video. So long.